Hey guys, my name's Brendan, and today I'll be teaching you about an Australian sport known as AFL, or Australian Football League. Now, in Australia, AFL is more commonly known as footy, and if you do hear someone talk about footy, it's usually about anything related to the AFL. An AFL season usually starts in March and will finish in September with the final series played. At the end of the final series, the best two teams in the league play in the grand final at the MCG, in front of more than 90,000 people. Now, in the next slide, you will see a short clip of the Australian national anthem being played before a match between the Richmond Tigers and the Greater Western Sydney Giants. The AFL hasn't always been known as the AFL. It started way back in 1897 with 8 teams, forming the VFL, Victorian Football League. All of these teams came from the same state, Victoria. They were Melbourne, Geelong, Carlton, Essendon, St Kilda, South Melbourne, Fitzroy and Collingwood. All 8 of these teams are actually still in the AFL today. However, 2 of them, South Melbourne, now known as Sydney Swans, and Fitzroy, now known as Brisbane Lions, have moved interstate. There are currently 18 teams in the AFL as of 2019. These teams come from New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Victoria, and Western Australia. The 2 most successful teams come from Victoria, Essendon and Carlton, who were 2 teams that were part of the competition since the VFL formed back in 1897. Both of these teams have won the premiership 16 times each. These are the current 18 teams in the AFL. Each team has its own logo. Each team has its own mascot. You can match up the names on the right hand side here with the logos on the left hand side. Maybe you can pause the video just to see which one you'd like best. Now, each team in the AFL has their own uniform, known as a Guernsey. Take a moment to pause the video here, and maybe check back with the logos and the team names to match up with the uniforms on this slide. My favourite team is the team in black and red. You can see them on the top row just over here. Now, let's talk about the basics of AFL. These are playing field and positions, the ball, skills, and rules. First, we'll start at looking at playing field and positions of the game. Footy is played on an oval field with 18 players from each team, so that means there are 36 players on the field at the same time. Another 4 players will start on the bench or substitute area. There are 4 different positions in footy: defenders, midfielders, forwards, and rucks. Defenders, midfielders and forwards are allowed to move anywhere they want. However, the ruckman is usually the tallest person on the team. They too are allowed to walk and run wherever they want, and usually you'll see them following wherever the ball goes. This means their stamina needs to be really high. Now, the next thing is the ball. The ball used in footy is made of leather, and the shape of the ball is oval. Depending on which teams are playing, the ball will either be red or yellow. The ball used in footy is known as a sherrin. Now, if you ever hear someone use the word sherrin, they're most likely talking about an AFL footy. Now let's talk about the different skills in AFL. Now there are 7 different skills in footy. They are kicking, handballing, marking, tackling, bouncing, and goal scoring. First, we'll take a look at kicking. Now, kicking is the most important skill to have in footy. It's how we score goals during matches. There are all types of different ways to kick a ball. First is a drop punt, which is the most common type of kick. There's the torpedo or bomb, the banana kick, and the snapshot. Now, if you can kick a torpedo or bomb, a banana, or a snapshot, then we definitely know you've got a lot of skill. Handballing is the next skill. You would usually use a handball to get out of tight areas, or to quickly move the ball onto another teammate. The video in here shows the Carlton team moving the ball from defense to attack using mainly just handballs. Marking is the third skill in our list. Marking is another way of saying catching. Now there are different ways to mark the ball in footy. They can be overhead mark, where you mark the ball above your head, a chest mark, where the ball drops into your arms against your chest, a hand mark, which is where you reach your hands out and catch the ball, and then there's the specky mark. Now, the specky mark is basically a special kind of mark, where you usually see one player jump on top of another player to mark the ball. Similar to the video playing here, you can see Jeremy Howe of the Collingwood Football Club taking a mark over a Melbourne Demons player. The fourth skill in AFL is tackling. Tackling is important in the game to stop play, or to try and win a free kick. The video below shows a North Melbourne player tackling a Western Bulldogs player. Now, just remember, you can only tackle a player when they have the ball. And another important rule is to never tackle someone below the knees or above their shoulders. If you do this, the person you're tackling will get the free kick. Bouncing the ball in a game of footy is one of the hardest things to do because the ball is oval shaped. If you are running with the ball, you need to bounce the ball at least once every 15 meters. If you don't do this, the ball will be turned over to the opponents. Just like the Essendon player is doing in the video. He marks the ball, runs, bounces, runs a little bit more before kicking it onto his teammate. Now there are 2 different ways to score in a game of footy. You can either do it through a goal or a behind. A goal is worth 6 points and a behind is worth 1 point. To score a goal, you need to kick the ball in between the 2 big sticks. The ball needs to go completely over the line without being touched by someone else. A behind, which is also known as a point, is a score you get if the ball goes through the big post and the little post. If you hit the big post with the ball, you will also score 1 point. A behind can also be scored if a player carries the ball over the line or the ball is touched before crossing the line fully. Now the final thing to talk about today are the rules of footy. In a normal game of footy, the umpire controls the game. They are also responsible for awarding free kicks. The most common type of free kicks in footy are push in the back, high contact, a kick out of bounds on the full, holding the ball and tripping. The umpires will bounce the ball at the start of every game and after every goal has been scored. Now at the end of a game, a big siren will go. After that siren goes, the umpires will blow the whistle to mark either the end of the quarter or the end of the game. Now that the siren has gone, that actually means we've come to the end of this video. Just want to thank you guys for watching, and if you'd like to watch more videos about the AFL, you can jump over to their YouTube page. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, pop in the comments section below what your favourite team is, and press that big red subscribe button for more fun fact videos. Anyways, once again, my name is Brendan, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya!